There are so many real estate agents out there that as soon as you've decided that you want to try buying a house, chances are all kinds of friends and family members are coming at you with like, oh, hey, you remember so-and-so? She sells houses. She could help you. Or, oh, remember that guy I used to work with? He's a real estate agent now. In 2021, 57% of first-time homebuyers used an agent referred to them by a friend, neighbor, or relative. But just because somebody's a friend of a friend doesn't mean they're the best person to help you buy a house. Let's talk about why finding the right real estate agent for you matters. There are over 3 million active real estate licensees in the United States. That's not the same thing as a realtor. A realtor is someone who's a member of the National Association of Realtors, which is actually the United States' largest trade association. All of those realtors are also real estate licensees. There are over 1.5 million realtors, but on top of that, there's another 1.5 million people who hold real estate licenses. There's nothing wrong with referrals. If the person giving you a referral had a great experience with their agent, they bought in the area where you're looking to buy, and they did it within the last 12 months or so, totally get in touch with that agent. But if it's just someone that your mom thinks is super nice, you probably want more credentials than that. A lot has changed in the real estate market, and things are totally different from how they used to be. Once upon a time, you'd fantasize about buying a home, you'd find an agent, you'd tour properties, you'd go back to the ones you liked, it would be leisurely, it would be lovely, you'd make an offer, and then you'd figure out all the money stuff. These days, about the only thing that's the same is that it starts with you fantasizing about owning a home. In 2021, 41% of buyers started their home search by looking at homes for sale online, which weirdly sounds low since just about everybody seems to look at homes for sale online, whether they're in the market or not. But when it's time to get serious, the process is really the opposite of what it used to be. You need to get your money sorted out right away. You want a solid pre-approval so that you know how much you have to spend and you'll be able to show sellers real numbers. You'll do your homework, choosing a neighborhood, researching home prices, coming up with your list of absolute must-haves and things that you can compromise on. Then you'll finally get an agent and see some homes. This could be the fastest part of the process since the whole touring and making an offer thing moves really quickly these days. But if you're in a competitive market where you're making offer after offer, it could potentially take months. It can be really hard to predict timelines, and you can end up seeing your agent more than you see your bestie. What does a buyer's agent do? A lot of really helpful stuff. For one, the right buyer's agent will give you the inside scoop on everything about the place where you're looking to buy, from what sellers are expecting and how you can make a competitive offer to what looks like a quiet side street but actually turns into a parking lot if it is school pickup or drop-off time. They can help you find properties to tour, and they can get you additional info on properties that you might find online. A big thing that they can help you with, they can look at the agent remarks in the MLS, the multiple listing service, and that can give information about the home's condition or about the seller's needs that you don't have access to. They can deal with the sellers and their agents, whether it's setting up tours, negotiating, that entire part of the process, that's off your back. And when you're further along, they'll help you find professionals that you might need to help in your home search, like a real estate attorney or a title company. In some cases, the buyer's agent will draw up the sales contract. And just in general, throughout the process, they will be there for you when you need to vent, when you need a shoulder to cry on, or when you just need someone to hype you up so that you can keep going. Looking at numbers from 2020 into 2021, homebuyers were spending a median of 8 weeks looking for a home. But by the end of 2021, 67% of active buyers had been searching for 3 months or more. It seems really weird that both of these numbers could be accurate, but that's a reflection of how much more competitive the housing market has gotten. In a market that's this competitive and where things move this fast, taking the time to research and find an agent who works for you could feel like, why bother? But it's a market that moves this fast and is that competitive, and that's exactly why you should bother. Whatever you do when you're browsing homes online, it's so tempting. It's right there, but don't click the tour with agent button. You're not getting someone who has any special expertise or who is in any way connected to that property. You're just getting whoever could use a client right in that moment. That's something that I did when I was buying a home, and I ended up wasting 6 weeks with an agent who was just a total dud. You also don't want to do the first timer mistake of contacting the agent who's selling the home. This can seem like, oh, this is going to give me like the inside track. No, all it's going to do is make more money for that real estate agent because the home seller pays both the buyer's agent and the selling agent commissions. And so if one person can get that entire commission, that's good for them, but it's not good for you because they're representing the seller's financial interests, i.e., making the most profit possible off of the sale. When an agent is on both sides of the transaction, that's called dual agency, and it's actually illegal in a bunch of states, which tells you something about how beneficial it could be for you as a buyer. More broadly, if the agent has any kind of stake in any house that you might be interested in, they are obligated to disclose that to you. And that could be if they have a financial stake in it, like it's an investment property, or if it's something personal, like they have any kind of relationship to the seller, whether it's someone they know or a relative or anything like that. How do you go about actually finding an agent? Well, you can look at referrals from friends or family, again, if it's something that, was a recent transaction. You can also search online, read online reviews. If you're looking for a specific kind of home, look for agents who maybe have that kind of home on their profile. I was looking for a super old house, so I looked for someone who was comfortable working with historic homes. That kind of expertise can be really helpful, not just because they'll be able to find properties that interest you, but also because if there's anything like weird with buying that kind of home, they'll know about it. They'll be able to anticipate any like hiccups in the buying process before you even get to them. Overall, it's good to talk to maybe like 3 agents. That doesn't sound like a ton, but for a lot of people it is. In 2021, 70% of home buyers only talk to 1 agent. So what kind of stuff should you ask an agent when you're talking to them? 1, how many buyers or sellers have they worked with in the past year or 2? There's nothing wrong with being new. Everyone is new at some point in their career, but for your first time buying a home, you really want someone who's got some experience. If you're talking to an agent who's actually like a broker or the owner of their firm, either of which indicates that like they supervise other agents, make sure that you'll directly be working with them and not working with assistants or other agents. You don't want to be passed around. You're trying to develop a relationship, right? And definitely like don't be shy about asking for referrals of people who they recently helped buy homes. Whether someone had a good experience and like even if they had a bad experience, they'll be willing to talk to you and let you know what it was like working with that agent, how they felt that person helped them, all of that stuff. If you contact an agent and they aren't interested in talking to you or, they're willing to sit down for an interview, but they act like they really don't have the time, oh my gosh, like move on. Don't bother. If they aren't going to make the time for you, don't make the time for them. Because really, like whether you're buying a studio apartment or you're buying like a huge 5-bedroom home, it's a big deal. It's your home. It's a big deal to you. And so it should be a big deal to them. You want someone who's going to treat you respectfully and who's going to help you achieve your goals. That means looking for someone who combines some characteristics that you might not always think of as going together. You really want an agent who's going to be business savvy and a skilled negotiator, but who also is someone that you can lean on and who's going to be empathetic and understanding when feelings run high. Buying a home can be a really emotional process, and this person is going to take that entire journey with you. So it's a good idea to talk to more than one to make sure that you found the right real estate agent for you. I'm Kate Wood, and I write about mortgages and home buying for NerdWallet. If you're hoping to buy a home this year, check out our 2022 Home Buyer Report, which has all kinds of tips and strategies to help you achieve that goal. And if you learned something in this video, hit like or subscribe.